Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Upper right corner we got Bonyth starting as the orange Protoss. Bottom left corner we got Dewalt. Sorry, reverse that. Bottom left corner we got Dewalt starting as yellow Protoss. Upper right corner we got Dewalt starting as the orange Protoss. This is Fighting Spirit Mania, set 2 of 7. Game 6 in the series. I have a confession that this is a recast, mostly because I just it was been doing some of these late at night and it was a botched cast. I think because my brain was also on a previous game and some of the comparatives therein. I do want to make a note. I'm thinking of once the series is over, starting a series called Cunningham's Law. If you guys have not figured out what that is, if you don't know what that is, I recommend looking it up. It's one of the more entertaining laws of rules out there. I'm sure there's an internet equivalent. Maybe it started on the internet actually, but I'm thinking about doing that and then basically just going for an info dump as far as in quotes everything I know about StarCraft. But talk about PvP advantages and where you need to execute and things like that. And then basically do kind of draft versions of a whole lot of thoughts on matchups and whatnot. And then basically kind of commentary on the meta. And then let people basically go like, nope, this is wrong, that's wrong. And then steadily improve it over time. And obviously improve it as the meta changes and as understanding improves. I'm wondering if that might be a fun series of videos to do. Although it would be challenging over the space of time given the nature of StarCraft and how much there is to do of it. Looks like we got an initial probe scout making its way out, by the way. Gateway first here from Bonyth. I'm going to go ahead and drop gas, but this is a forward gateway, which leaves me a bit suspicious. I'm wondering if he's going to try something similar to what Dewalt did a game or two ago and try to sneak a Zealot out on the map. I think Bonyth definitely more on his toes because of Dewalt's execution of that. And honestly, I can't think of a single match where I've seen that prior. And it just incredible, just being able to pull it off. And I think a lot of other players would have completely folded in the face of that. So I gotta give my hats off to Bonyth that he was able to fend it off. So checking bottom right first, not finding anything. Looks like Dewalt, he's gotten actually quite a bit lucky, I've got to say, in a lot of these. I'm not saying that's what's provided in the win in a lot of these situations, but it's certainly given him an advantage. And I don't know what to credit it, but he's gotten the scout off more often than not, and a lot of these engagements here where he's had a bit more of an advantageous scout. Probe able to mix it up along the lines, going to take a bit of a shield damage, but does delay gas slightly. And Bonyth, Dewalt going to be able to sneak in and see that that second pylon is dropped. He is going to steal some minerals. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think when you steal minerals, you don't get the effect of being, like, you can do the return with the worker, and it'll return to home base and go through enemies to return to your home base nexus. But well, actually through enemies, I don't think it collides through buildings. But when you have the probe or worker available and you don't have any minerals and you click on the mineral, it will go through attack workers and proceed. And I haven't checked Dewalt's base in a bit. Looks like the Zealot going ahead and blockading that side. We do have range upgrading, so second gate drop for Dewalt. So just wants to play this. It looks like safe. I honestly, and it looks like a third pylon drop, by the way, interior here from Bonyth, so he's going for more of a straight up standard economic play. Probe, gonna cross probe. A little bit of a trophy in the minerals as it makes its way across. I actually kind of want to see if this probe, I think this probe was selected through mineral patches. That tends to be what happened. We'll see if it goes through the Dragoon. Doesn't go through the Dragoon. Is it going to go through the Zealot as an example? Yeah, see, it goes through the Zealot like that, and that's what lets you know that it was going to a mineral patch on the way back. One gate into Robo here for Bonyth. If he goes one gate Robo, Observer, Support Bay should be okay and should be able to take his natural expansion in the space of this. That tends to have an advantage over 2-gate Robotics equivalently. Pylon getting dropped on that corner. Kind of interesting position. Is that going to have a closer range Robotics? We'll have to see. Also, I'm wondering if this is going to turn into a skipped Robotics from Bonyth and a little bit more aggression, because he is putting this pylon to the 9 o'clock. And if he drops another pylon here at the 6 o'clock, what that can do is that can provide that forward scouting, so you don't need the Observer. Well, the Observer's a big help, but it provides a little bit of latent scouting out in the field. So I'm wondering if he's thinking about skipping the observatory. The probe making its way out isn't going to get a lot of information, just is going to get the information that there's at least 3 Dragoons on the low ground. In the meantime, range has finished for Dewalt. He's making his way out to try to catch that probe. Does get a shot off in it. He's going to back it off. He's building that robotics facility near that natural expansion, so I'm wondering if he's anticipating with this forward gate position a 3-gate or more aggressive play. Bonyth also playing the Dragoons a little bit far afield in the space of this. And Dewalt sending out another scout, found the scout over here, so it's going to try to shift directions. Does Dewalt move his attack trooping? And Bonyth has dropped the natural expansion in the space of this. He did go observatory robotics, but this could cost him here. So, differing from the situation previously where it was 2 gates in this scenario, 2 gate robotic in the space of this, and then kind of a snuck thing and also an expansion opposite side. In this instance, this Nexus is very exposed. The probe is going to be able to get an end around. Still not going to be able to... Actually, Dewalt leaving the worker there to go ahead and blockade information, but is going to walk in, and Bonyth against... So 6 Dragoons versus effectively 4 and a Zealot alongside. Yeah, being down a gateway worth of production is going to end up losing this natural expansion. The Reaver not going to be out in time to provide support. So canceled, it's not the end of the world. He still gets resources, but does lose a good chunk. And in the meantime, Dewalt letting that... Did that probe go through? No, it looks like the probe died. Did the probe get the kill? No, okay. It looks like a Dragoon. What got the kill? What happened to the probe? Did it escape? Wondering what happened to the worker there. In the meantime, it doesn't matter because Dewalt going for a faster Nexus and has a soft contain. I don't think it's going to last all that long. And it looks like this is going to turn into 3 gate behind this. I think there's going to be a 3rd gateway and likely Reavers out on the field. And part of the other issue is Bonyth has to reveal that he's got Reaver tech to really claim this natural expansion. Although what he could do is he could delay it. So he's got the Observer hanging out that natural expansion. The Reaver, or he could also try to bait these attack forces in by moving that Reaver down. It's kind of it's one choice or the other. It's like, okay, do you go out, you try to get your shots and try to kill a couple Dragoons to make things beneficial for the 3 gate? Do you try to use the Reaver as bait to draw attack forces up towards the ramp so you can get additional damage and they'll go for a counterattack? Or do you just try to make your way down and re-clear natural expansion so you can reclaim from there? Kind of the 3 gate as far as a follow-up almost feels a little bit necessary, honestly, knowing that that natural expansion is going to be up a little bit faster from Dewalt. And a faster shuttle speed as well. Bonyth trying to make the best of a bad situation. Dragoons are actually sneaking out. Dewalt moving a few troops to the north, the Observer alongside. This is going to be cute. Could also be a bad scenario because this Observer making its way, and that Observer going to get sniped, and he sees a lack of troops here on the front as well. And now he's moving, lost a Dragoon, but it's going to sneak forward, sees that shuttle, and recognizes the troops could have snuck out. We got 4 Dragoons making their way across that 9 o'clock base, by the way. I don't think they're going to get a lot done because we have the Reaver and the 4 Dragoons on the opposite end. The Observer moving its way forward, sees the tech, sees the 3 gateways, and now Dewalt making his way back to home base, recognizing that it's potentially going to be an attack. He actually might have had a sense that these 4 Dragoons snuck out as well. Unfortunately, moving a little bit out of position and stranding that Reaver. Well, okay, never mind. He's going to make his way back. Let's see if he gets the better part of this exchange. Ooh, 1 Dragoon making its way out. And it looks like Dewalt is going to end up with first shot plus that Reaver support. Now Bonyth making his way down. Bonyth, the way I'm looking at this, kind of ignoring that fight because it was going to get cleaned up by the way. So sorry about that if you wanted to see the remains of it. So Observer along that corner. I don't know if Dewalt got a good look at that army as it's coming out, but I think he's got a good sense of its size. Supply counts are actually even. And I'm trying to look, so we got, what, 2? So we got 2 Reavers in the shuttle. That'll be the big advantage. And this is where it's really going to hurt Dewalt because this shuttle's not going to be out in time, so Dewalt's going to need to buy himself some space here. He's also, with that shuttle speed, there's a lot of threat because it can attack that natural expansion. It can make its way to the main. It's hard to cover all that space, and he needs to think about getting those Reavers in the shuttle on the opposite corner pronto, because if these Reavers attack these Reavers, there's no support. So I can't even micro, loses a lot of workers. So Bonyth actually now with the worker lead, although it's going to be a later natural expansion. Dud as far as the follow-up, but Dewalt does get the shuttle out. The Observer making its way back might get sniped on this corner, is going to spot the army on its way. Exchange of fire, the shuttle not there to scoop it up. Yeah, natural expansion not up for quite some time. But by Bonyth being aggressive with this micro might slow down Dewalt's macro in the background a little bit, and Dewalt stepping a little bit far abroad there. This is closer reinforcement point, but that's still shuttle speed versus no shuttle speed in the space of this, and Bonyth really making good use of it. 1 Zealot trailing out a little bit too far. Ooh, and another huge shot. Another Reaver getting wiped out. 1 Reaver died in the space of this. I'm not sure where. Shuttle gone. Again, a big advantage. So that Reaver got picked off once again. So Bonyth doing a good job of picking off units. The problem is with the close reinforcement point, And the stronger economy for Dewalt, he's okay trading some of these troops, but he still needs to be careful he doesn't bleed too much. Observer now gone. And we still have a Reaver and a Speed Shuttle in play. Going for a full attack right here. That shuttle finally wiped out. The Reaver finally wiped out. But Bonyth, oh, this Lone Dragoon kind of mixing his way out of the fight, and reinforcements not making their way down, so gonna get cleared up. But his natural expansion at least up in the space of this. He's up workers, but down supply overall. So larger army now remains on the field. And he's gonna have to retreat all the way to that natural expansion. In the meantime, Dewalt fanning out a little bit. Looks like he's making a beeline to the 9 o'clock rather than checking that natural expansion. Fourth gate added on. A probe, I think that's just to drop a pylon there. We've gone up to 5 gate here for Dewalt. Still down 2 workers. That's not significant right at this stage, especially with the larger army. Things are kind of resetting now in the mid game. And it looks like Bonyth able to at least see the size of that army as it's making its way across to know where he wants to stage his troops. 2 Reavers there on the low ground. He is going to go up, it looks, to 6 gate. As far as a follow-up, Dewalt up 10 supply, by the way. So comfortable. But the big story of this is really the lack of Reavers on Dewalt's side of the map. Bonyth with the speed, it looks like speed is now going to finish for Dewalt. But Bonyth has had that significant Reaver advantage throughout, and that really pays big dividends in PvP. A few Dragoons checking out that 9 o'clock just to be sure, going to get cleared out and pushed back. And Dewalt repositioning some troops, going to fan out, go for kind of a soft contain here outside that natural expansion. More Reavers, and it looks like a defensive pylon to try to absorb some misfire shots should they happen. Did I miss the Reavers joining the field? Okay, there's that shuttle and a single Reaver making its way. So this is going to be outnumbered, outgunned. Although Dewalt is going for that Scarab damage upgrade, which could be significant. A little bit spread out, honestly, as far as this. This is, I'm going to presume, 3 control groups. And it looks like he wants to go for a drop in the space of this along that back wall. Does land. Bonyth not reacting rapidly, so gets a slew of shots, and that was a huge hit. All of a sudden, Dewalt up 10 workers. And Bonyth going for an attack out in the field is going to catch a couple of these units on guard. Nice encapsulation from multiple angles. Big Reaver shot hitting a Dragoon. It looks like the splash didn't land on the Reaver this side. The Reaver not fully engaged. It looks a lot of these Dragoons are getting cleaned up both by positioning and by numbers. Big hits happening otherwise. So Dewalt actually might be able to attack with what he's got left into that natural expansion. We got another Reaver on the low ground to potentially engage us. They're disrupted there by that pylon that's causing a split attack. So that's getting cleaned up. And Dewalt may be overextending a little bit here. He's going to end up losing the shuttle, probably losing this Reaver. Is he going to get additional workers? No, not getting additional workers, but going to lose his Reaver. Might get a Reaver in turn in the space of this. One last shot and gets, man, last 3 workers out of this. Now Bonyth in a lot of trouble, actually. Bonyth just has to, he's going to resaturate, but with his 6 gates, he's just got to attack and go. I think he's got enough. So if, speaking of Cunningham's Law, I believe it's like 7 workers, ignoring gas. It's 7 probes to a Dragoon as far as continuous production, something along those lines. So if you're on like 3 gate continuous production, 21 workers is about where you want to be at. So, and so actually negate that. So what is that? 3 minus 3 minus 3. I need to figure out this math later as far as like what's on minerals, as far as, so we got to deduct 6 for gas and then do the rest of the math, and I'll figure that out for another video. Cannon dropping that back line, +1 weapons upgrading for Dewalt. He's got that big Reaver splash damage upgrade. He's got a massive supply lead. It's his game to lose right this second. Starting to make his way. We do have 3 big Reavers though here standing at the natural expansion and some other troops. It is possible that Dewalt overextends, and he keeps moving in with inferior Reaver numbers in the space of this. So it looks like he's going to try to do this and expand to that 9 o'clock base. Took a couple shots. That Reaver taking some shots, loses the shuttle and the Reaver. Now it is 3 Reavers on the low ground, and if Bonyth actually micros this really, really well, he could easily wipe out this entire attack force and find himself in at least a catch-up scenario on the map. Yeah, Dewalt losing, just getting nothing for that attack and just bled off units. Just bled units there. Is going to stage up to go ahead and grab that 3 o'clock location. He needs to be a little bit careful with this though, because if he goes for the 3 o'clock, Bonyth is already in a counterattack situation. Granted, this shuttle's not very healthy. In is at risk. And is at risk. We got a Reaver that's going to slow walk that could be vulnerable along that back edge. Dewalt trying to, I think he's trying to catch that shuttle, but might just end up donating some Dragoons instead. Still actually trying to go for that natural expansion, and I think he might need these units back at home. Actually, so more, and yeah, plenty of Dragoons actually out, and the probe's going to help defend. So Dewalt donating some Dragoons. He is doing a little bit of economic disruption, but he's also got a big counterattack and no shuttle over that Reaver once again, so that I don't know how long that Reaver's going to be in this fight. 2 shots, it's gone. The shuttle's gone opposite end, but oh, and some Dragoons actually not engaging in that fight, but still a lot of troops down opposite corner. Looks like some of Dewalt's attack force pulling back. Bonyth wanting to link up. He's going to be able to kill these 2 Dragoons in open field, but now he's going to be able to regroup, and Dewalt's got a lot of territory he's got to cover, and he doesn't have a lot of troops to do it. So the natural expansion's exposed, that 3 o'clock expansion is potentially exposed, but if he can hold it, he is going to be up a base here. So more shots. That Reaver again gone with no shuttle protection. Probes going for transfer, having to pull off the line to try to defend this. And does Dewalt have enough troops? Bonyth, I think, is up in raw units. He's rallying more across. The workers now making their way back to try to kill off the Dragoons and hold this. Now making their way back to the 3 o'clock. Another Reaver out, but again without the shuttle protection, although it looks like there's some cruft in the way in the form of probes and Dragoons to protect this. Bonyth, though, gonna pull out. He's gonna race to the 3 o'clock location. And actually, if he drops a Dragoon, if he can shuffle a Dragoon out, it's gonna lose that one. If he just drops this Dragoon, holds that location, might be able to get a lot of worker kills right here and put himself in a good scenario. Actually, it might not matter because Dewalt having trouble getting these Dragoons out. And the other problem for Dewalt is even if he runs up the ramp, he does the +1 weapons advantage, but he still ends up, well, never mind. It looks like the probe's able to create some interruption and hold. Dewalt still has a 6 worker lead somehow, and a massive supply lead otherwise. Looks like there was a 6 o'clock worker checking to whether there was an additional expansion as well. 9 o'clock Dragoon as well. Boxing the rest of that out. And Bonyth this time losing some troops mid-map, getting a little bit sloppy on both ends. That Reaver still without a shuttle to protect it. Main is mined out for both players, so now it's 1 base versus 2. As far as raw economy, we do have another Reaver and a shuttle, which could create some chaos someplace for Bonyth. Although there is, so the Reaver could come up, take out that cannon, or maybe even soften up the Dragoons. That would be a little bit challenging. Dewalt, though, needs to defend this natural expansion. This is the one advantage for Bonyth. I don't think there's any advantages for Bonyth actually to speak of outside of this, where Dewalt needs to defend the 3 o'clock and the natural expansion. So if Bonyth is going to punch, he could punch one direction, find not enough forces there, and then turn around to attack the other location maybe. I will say that it's looking kind of grim. He still has 2 Reavers with the shuttle versus no shuttle. Shuttle just getting queued up opposite sides. So we'll have the Reaver advantage. So at least that's another advantage. Probes making their way out to scout. Again, going to check that 9 o'clock base. Bonyth is going to end up losing that worker. I don't think he was in any position to even grab that yet. Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to defend it the opposite direction. It would have been kind of the slow play into death. And now actually, as Bonyth making this attack, there's actually a really good spread of Dragoons in this forward attack field. The shuttle's still not there along the Reavers, though. The Reavers trying to pull back and run away. Some big shots along those Dragoons to the right. Unfortunately, I don't know if Bonyth has scouting. Dewalt dashing forward now and finally getting that shuttle in play. Took 1 pot shot there. And Bonyth now making his way across and falling, yeah, gonna get encapsulated, is gonna end up losing the Reavers to the right. More reinforcements now, recognizing this is the dedicated attack and kind of the final hurrah. Those, yeah, there's GG. Dewalt takes set 2 now and is up, I think that's correct, and is now up 2 sets to 0 over Bonyth as we go into set 3 of 7. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.